Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new episode of Professionals Unplugged. I am your host, Utkarsh Shukla, and today we have Kristina with us. Kristina, thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for the invite.
So, let's start with our very basic question. Can you please introduce yourself to our audience, like who you are, what work you do, anything you want us to know about you?
My name is Kristina. I am transformational coach and the founder of the Co-Created Hub, which is a collaborative business growth platform that connects early stage and scaling businesses with the people, the resources, the opportunities they need to start, grow, and scale in a way that's more holistic, that's more sustainable. We focus a lot on supporting early stage founders through visibility. They can start their own meetup circle, visibility channel on our platform, run events, revenue share with us. And what we also do is connecting our incredible practitioners with scaling businesses and helping scaling businesses elevate the performance of their teams, of their leaders. And in a nutshell, that's what I do professionally.
That's really nice. So, you have mentioned about being the founder of the co-created hub, right? So, why you came to this platform? Like, what was the main reason behind finding this? And can you just take us a few steps back, like how your journey started and how you came up to this point where you wanted to start the co-created hub?
How much time do we have, Utkarsh? It's a long story which I am going to synthesize. I used to work as a corporate coach, trainer and corporate coach. And I really wanted to have my own coaching company. And I launched it in 2017. And I left the corporate world and I went full time into running the company. And as we all know, that was my first business and it did not go as planned, especially initially. And this confidence that I had built, thinking I'm such a good coach, and I'm not saying that I'm not, but I used to work with underperforming teams and helping them turn into high performing teams. And I spent a couple of years doing that and I really enjoyed it, kind of the training, the coaching side. And then I had this confidence in the actual skill of coaching. But when I launched the business, I was faced with this massive imposter syndrome. And I was so afraid of selling what I actually wanted to sell. And I just found myself battling with all these internal beliefs, like limiting beliefs and fears. And it took quite a few months to actually be able to start generating revenue through the coaching company. And then my life turned upside down. COVID came, health issues, family issues, breakup, you name it. I almost joke sometimes when I share the story that I tick all the boxes in terms of what can go wrong. And that led me back to my country, Bulgaria, spending time with my family and really rethinking what I want to be doing and how I want to be running the business moving forward. And then I launched a digital coaching platform that I decided to run on the side of my coaching practice. Came back to London after the borders reopened, and again, all sorts of setbacks. And then it's just, it is the journey, it is what it is, and I like to be
Right.
quite transparent about it. And all these held back setbacks actually led to creating the co-created hub. And the reason why I built it and launched it in the first place was because I felt that after working so hard to build an award-winning coaching brand and experiencing so many personal challenges, it's almost like I felt I did not have a safe space to be myself and speak about what was really going on in my business. And I felt the pressure of always performing as the coach. And we had won quite a few awards as well. So it's almost like it felt just, I don't know, it felt heavy in a sense. And then I set up the hub to bring people together originally. And I used to run it as a private community, closed community, where we would just exchange services, resources, support each other. Again, we used to focus a lot on visibility. And then it grew to what it is today, 2 years later.
That's really nice. So, it's quite of things that I think that you build step by step and from your own journey, from your own experiences. You just figure it out the gap that the industry is facing and you try to build on the top of it. Like that's a really nice point of view. And talking about the coaching, so what's your like main expertise in terms of coaching? Like if you can just take us through it, like how the coaching works.
Currently, I work with founders, CEOs, and teams as a more of a mentor versus a coach, which is kind of a slightly different dynamic when you host those conversations. In the past, I used to do corporate coaching. Again, it was very much related to bringing the best out of an individual within a team environment, bringing people together and helping them work better together. Also, using the coaching skill to develop the individual and to help them improve their performance and their leadership. So it was very much every level of the organization, from line level team members to the top. And again, then I changed and I started working with entrepreneurs, early stage entrepreneurs, helping them bring their vision into reality. So I started coaching more on the entrepreneurial side of things. And now, currently, I actually do a little bit of both, because through the Co Created Hub, I work as a business mentor with some of the scaling businesses that are joining the platform, and they can work with me directly, more as a business mentor and also as a coach. As I said, these are two different skills that I mix. And I no longer do corporate coaching, but again, uh, that's just something that, how many hours a day do you have?
Correct. And talking about working with entrepreneurs and CEOs and founders, have you found out any common problem that all these titles hold, or does it depend on person to person? Like, do you ever see a common line that everyone is facing, or a common problem?
Depends on the level of experience and also the level of revenue. I find that early stage founders, especially those that have attracted investments, it's all about stepping into that leadership role and not being as much of a people pleaser, knowing how to hire the right team, knowing how to build those almost like soft skills of leadership, and also working through imposter syndrome
Mhm.
as well. We also focus a lot on the strategic side of things and how all the pieces of the business can work holistically. So early stage founders, the barriers, the internal barriers are quite different compared to scaling founders. With scaling founders, it's all about strategy and the right next step. And if I can think of some of the seven-figure founders that I mentor and coach, with them, it could be from pure business and the next strategic move to how we can up-level the team in terms of performance. Or some of them, they just feel like they've almost lost the spark because they feel like they work around the clock and there isn't enough time for themselves. So it's almost like they hit a moment where they're like, why am I doing this? Is this what success truly is? And they start questioning themselves, questioning the purpose. So it really it's very different. And I'm always amazed how even the conversation with the same person can be different from session to session, because we also cover the personal life as well. As sometimes we don't just leave our worries at the door, they impact our level of concentration and focus and the way we make decisions. So we work more holistically on the leadership side of things, on the performance side of things. Also, I specifically work with companies and founders that care about their team. If they are just focused on the revenue side of things, I don't have such clients. They genuinely care about creating a positive environment for the team and up leveling them in a way that that they feel taken care of.
Right.
So kind of the team piece is also quite significant when you're letting go of someone, especially as a small startup. How do you do that? How do you host those conversations? We've had such sessions as well. So it really varies.
Yeah, I think these are really very important points in order to set up a new organization, especially as a young entrepreneur or when you say a starting stage founders. And the point that you mentioned, like having a balance between personal life and professional life, because somehow directly or indirectly, both of them impact each other, right? So I think that's where your work comes in the most in order to have a session and try to balance between all of them, right?
It's not easy.
Right.
And I think and I can also think about myself, founders and the type of clients I work with, that they're really passionate about what they do. Their
Mhm.
business is almost an obsession. It's like a calling. And that switching off part is really difficult for them. It can be difficult for me as well sometimes.
Right.
When your heart is in it,
Correct. So talking about the same thing for you. So what were your biggest challenges, or what are your biggest challenges that you are facing today, the or the one that you have faced till now?
currently time. Time. I'm just going to be honest about it. I just sometimes feel like, especially as an early stage startup, being like deciding what to prioritize and also being able to have clear roles and responsibilities. So when I do reach out for support, when I do hire support, even if it's temporary support, that guidance and that training is quite essential. So it's because you juggle multiple priorities, and that's a constant. And also the co-created hub is a bootstrap platform. So I wear all the hats you can think of.
Okay.
And sometimes for the platform to continue to grow, I like to meet personally every founder and service practitioner who is launching their own visibility channel and meetup circle. And I also vet them. And the experience is highly important to me, as when scaling organizations join the hub and they want to benefit from the meetups and the learning experiences, because we connect the two companies, it is really important that they actually get a lot of value from the meetups. And from the actual on the founder side, it is important that they feel supported and that they're connecting with prospective clients, prospective customers through the platform as well. When they host those meetups, it's a connection point in a way that's experiential, it's educational, and it's almost like a win-win for everyone. But for me to be able to create that experience and in a way that makes me feel proud, and I can confidently say all our meetup circles are absolutely amazing, it takes time. And it's also about attracting the right founding partners and service partners. They need to match our values. That also takes time.
Correct.
So time is something that I would love to have more of if I could, and hopefully we're moving in that direction.
Nice. You mentioned at one point like meeting the founders or your clients personally rather than having a virtual connect, right? So what do you think, like how much impact does it have, like meeting a person in real and meeting a person on a conference call? So do you think like there is a completely different scene when we meet like directly, and it has a different impact as compared to when we meet a person over like this we are meeting?
To be okay, we have in-person events, but I meet with all them virtually. It's a digital platform. We have just started hosting more in-person events, but the majority of the partners are all over the world, Canada, United States, and we've just brought some people from London as well. And with us, it has worked really well. The digital interaction has worked quite well. However, not in comparison to meeting face to face. It's not in comparison meeting face to face. This is one of the reasons why we now give people the option to run their meetups in a physical environment, and the co-created network, which is the visibility channel and the membership part of the co-created hub, allows people to host their meetup circle on Google Meet, Zoom, using our internal live room, or if they prefer to meet in person, they can. The downside of that is that other members of the platform, because it's a digital platform, will not have the opportunity to attend the meetup, because the events are open to people who they invite to the event, but also to our members. And most of them prefer to host them virtually. However, again, to answer your question, face-to-face interaction, nothing beats that.
Right. So talking about you have shared your story with us, right? So is there any particular story or an incident from your life that you like to share with us that can be professional or personal?
So many stories. I don't know which one to share. A story that I would like to share. Gosh. Yeah, actually, I do want to share a story. I think that's one of the things that actually led to creating the co-created hub. And before I launched it, I had already built a digital coaching platform, which is actually the educational content that you see through the blog and the shop that was part of the original coaching platform. And then I rebranded it and I decided to keep all the content and integrate the community aspect, now integrate the podcast as well that we're launching, the YouTube channel. But before all of this came together, I remember very clearly it was April 2023. I was in such a mental state of complete burnout, complete exhaustion, because what I was trying to do with the digital coaching platform is build it and scale it with the wrong business model. The business model was affiliate partnerships. And with affiliate partnerships and a small percentage per sale, you need volume. We did not have that volume for me to be able to fully sustain myself through the platform. So I was coaching, but at the same time, I took a strategic role in a scale up, senior strategic role. And combining these three roles led to super intense burnout to the point of like I remember I was lying in bed thinking if this is what success is, I want out. And I remember crying and thinking, I would not want another entrepreneur to have to go through all of these and feel so alone. And one of the reasons why I felt alone was because I remember I would go to these like talks where I would be the speaker and I would come back home crying. But when I was on stage, I had to inspire, I had to speak, and I felt like a complete hypocrite, Utkarsh, because behind the scenes I felt like I was falling apart, my life was falling apart. I There were so many things that we were facing as a family, with our family business in Bulgaria, with like close family members' health, and it was just really difficult for us as a family as well. So all happened together. And I remember I was like, that's it, I'm done. So I resigned from the leadership role and I was as close to shutting everything down. And what changed was I just stopped wearing the mask of I have it all figured out. And I just said to a few people who I was about to partner with and feature in our blog, because we monetize the blog, lots of visibility, lots of views, and brands would reach out and they would offer to sponsor an article, and also entrepreneurs. And then going to these goals and saying, I'm so sorry, but I cannot proceed with the feature because the blog may not be live next month. That it was so difficult. And to just tell people I'm not in a good place, and to be vulnerable. What I received back was openness. And people said I went through the exact same thing last year, but no one knows about it because on social media we're all killing it. And I was like, wow, you went through so much, and then how are you even alive? And I am going through so much, and yet I go out there with the biggest smile on my face. That's not strength. To me, that's not strength. Yes, it is strength when it comes to the fact that you are dealing with it, but why do I need to pretend? Because I was afraid that this would destroy my credibility and the brand that I had built. So that fear was getting in the way of building those impactful relationships, which led to launching the hub. Because when I opened up to a few people, and one of them, my first founding partner, Caitlin, she actually was about to become an affiliate partner. And I said to her, I'm sorry, but coaching for transformers is going to shut down. And I said, I'm really sorry. And I remember she was so patient and understanding, and these conversations led to discovering the power of genuine human to human interactions in that atmosphere atmosphere in the environment of entrepreneurship. And then I was like, let's just get together and start supporting each other. Let's bring visibility to each other's businesses. Let's just say it as it is. Let's stop pretending. And the co-created hub became a safe space for me, for them. More people joined. I was able to monetize it before I even launched it properly because it was a private community. And that was all because we share the same values.
Okay.
And but if I hadn't hit that lowest point where I was like, I'm done, and if I hadn't opened up, I would not have built that connection. And if I had not experienced the power of that connection in business, maybe we wouldn't be talking about the co-created hub today.
Right.
That's a story that, yeah, 2 years later, it still makes me emotional when I think about how what actually led to launching the platform in its current shape.
I think it's really very inspiring story that you shared, especially how you come, like how the life has hit you with the rock bottom, and then you showed up again, and now monetize the hub before even launching it, right? So these are really the skills and how you show up, the strength, and that's how you work, right? You need to get up every time the life puts you down.
But what other choice do we have?
The,
If you think about it, okay, giving up. I remember I was this close to giving up, and let's call it the universe brought me to my old neighborhood from where I actually started my business, my first business. And I said to myself, but there is nothing else I can think of doing. I don't want to be in fashion or beauty or corporate coaching. I was trying to figure out what else will I do if I was to let go of that passion. And I couldn't think of anything. And I think if people only connect deeper to that passion for what it is that they want to create and have the skills and the community to handle those difficult situations in life and business, we can continue to stay on path and navigate the journey more in a way that's more sustainable so it doesn't feel like we're burned out. And that's why we focus so much on holistic wellness and holistic growth support from the platform, because I've been there and I know how it feels to not have that. And when you have a network that truly cares, not just another networking event where we all wear the I am perfect, I am everything is amazing, where no real connection really happens. This isn't who we are as the community part of the hub is not that, because I find that we're all humans in the end of the day, Utkarsh.
right,
And there is nothing more powerful than the human connection, especially now with AI taking over, which I think is phenomenal. It becomes even more important to work together and to think about how this innovation can serve us versus create more distance.
correct. And following up your journey, although you have already shared a lot of things that you're following in your life, so any advice or any specific advice that you like to share, or the one that you follow in your life?
I think it's a very good question, actually. And what I would say is that every setback in life, every problem, every closed door is actually an opportunity. And if you look at things through those lens, and if you have that type of mindset, you can find an opportunity in the most challenging situations, even if it is an opportunity to develop as a person, to develop an interpersonal skills such as resilience. But in business, what I have found in professionally is that every closed door, everything that hasn't gone the way I wanted it to go, led to a bigger opportunity because I did not give up. Because I said to myself, okay, what can I learn from this experience that I can implement? And how can I use that to serve me in business, life, in how I build relationships? So every obstacle, every setback carries a blessing in disguise if one is open and able to overcome that original pain. As we all get disappointed. When you don't get something that you want, what happens? You feel disappointed. You are going to feel that in your body. So, do you have the tools to be able to almost like overcome that negative state, turn it into something that allows you to see things clearly, and then make decisions and spot those opportunities that these setbacks carry, because they do carry opportunities.
Right. I think this is really one of the best advice I have seen. You need to be the opportunist in order to get back on life and live a life of your dreams, right? And talking about dreams, so what's next for you? What's your dream at this point?
What a good question. You ask very good questions. The dream is to bring more people together and give them the opportunities to connect and collaborate in a way that elevates their businesses. And I am considering physically launching the co-creative network in Dubai, New York, and California at the moment. So conversations are being had, and that's a focus for me personally, because I just want people to be brought together in more cities around the world. Also, the revenue sharing program co-creator is something that's something that's really dear to my heart. Everyone who joins the co-created network has the opportunity to revenue share with us, whether you join as a member, whether you join as a partner, and whether you join us even as a community partner, which is something that's also launching as a partnership tier. And the commissions are as high as 75%. Some of them. I just love sharing and co-creating financial resources. I think we need to be a bit more generous with each other as a community. So what's next is continuing to build and solidify what has been built, and reaching more people, bringing more people to the platform to benefit from the visibility opportunities, but also helping more businesses scale and uplevel the performance of their teams in a way that shows them results, but also in a way that makes the team feel not just valued but happy, thriving. As there's so many companies where employees feel like a number,
Yeah.
they're not performing, and I really want to change that. So the dream remains the same, really: more connection, more collaboration, more visibility, more money for everyone involved in the platform, and helping more people ultimately together.
Right. That's very nice to know. And I think that's the best thing to have a dream of taking the whole community together. And I think this is the best part to end this interview. So thank you so much, Christina, for sharing your journey and inspiring us. Keep shining, and we wish you a lot of success in your path.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.